Hello guys, and welcome back to the channel. Now guys, the 2023 presidency within the Nigerian space is already in full play. Make no mistakes about that. So make no mistakes about that. All the runners and riders and all the potentials, all the people that have ambitions towards that space, both in terms of occupying the main seat and occupying the vice seat, are already putting missives out, little bits of testers in the papers or in public space, just to test the waters to see how things play out or what the response is within the society. And the latest person to throw his opinion into the ring is, of course, our dollar-loving governor of Kano State, Ganduje. So with that, guys, I bring you this. 2023, Ganduje reveals who will determine Buhari's successor. So that's the headline. 2023, Ganduje reveals who will determine Buhari's successor. So now let's see what the dollar-loving governor has to say. The Kano State Governor, Abdullahi Ganduje, has revealed who will determine President Muhammadu Buhari's successor on the All Progressive Congress APC platform come 2023. According to him, the ruling party will determine which zone will produce the next Nigerian president at the expiration of Buhari's tenure. Kaduna State Governor Nasir El-Rufai had recently said the party should abandon zoning for competence in 2023. Reacting to this, Ganduje said, "The way I look at it is that it is an issue between idealism and realism. Idealism is a situation whereby things should be done in accordance with ideas. If things are done like that, then everybody should have equal treatment and everybody has an equal chance to contest, and then what the people decide should be done." Now, the issue is realism. Nigeria is a multi-ethnic, multi-religious country with several geopolitical zones. In reality, people are yearning for the participation of different political zones and not the politics of North and South. So the reality of the situation is that people are crying of marginalization in the leadership of the country, but the idealism is that people should participate and be selected based on their capacity. So it is not the governor of Kano State that should decide whether it is idealism or realism. It is the party that will determine which should be applied in Nigeria, and you know that it is a political strategy. So the political party should decide which option to follow. So now this is now the goings on now that is at play within the Nigerian space, because as I said, the 2023 presidency is already in full play and they are already campaigning. We've already seen Tinubu launch his campaign. We've already seen El-Rufai launch his campaign. We've already seen Adams Oshomole's name in the ring, and now we've now seen Ganduje having his own clearing rather space for himself within that happenings as well. So now that presidency for 2023 is in full play. So, but what they are now jostling to establish is who the runner is going to be, because the runner for APC is effectively going to be the president of Nigeria, because we saw what happened with the last election that we had in February this year, where Nigerians voted Buhari out, but they installed him anyway. So they are going to go with that same template almost certainly, and they're just going to install somebody there anyway, irrespective of what the Nigerian population wants. So effectively, the next APC candidate is going to effectively be the Nigerian president. So high stakes, and all the runners and riders are now coming into play. So now what this Ganduje fella is now doing is that he's now testing the waters. Is testing the waters to see what the feeling is within the Nigerian space, because you would of course recall that Nigeria has an unspoken arrangement that power would transit between the north and south after one region has had a turn at the presidency. So now we have a northerner as the president now. So once he completes his tenure, then that power should transit back to the south. But this is not a constitutional position, by the way. This is a gentleman's agreement between the northerners and the southerners just for peace. And this came really off the back of that Abiola thing that they robbed him of his mandate. Remember Abiola and Babangida and all that. So this came off the back of that, and this unspoken agreement was then set in play. So now, what these northerners are now saying, because El Rufai had previously said that, look, this is not a constitutional matter and there's no legal requirement for power to transit in this manner, and we should go with competence rather than the region. So this is what he has been saying after Malam Buhari was reappointed as the president. So what he's effectively saying is he's throwing his heart in the ring, because if he's able to remove that thing, that unspoken rule that power should transit back to the southern parts after Buhari has had this 8 years, then he effectively brings himself into play. Because if that arrangement, that power transiting to the south arrangement is no longer in force or no longer being enforced, then really Malam El Rufai rather comes into play, because there are no champions, there are no other champions really within the northern regions that you would point to as a potential president outside of El Rufai. Which other name? Is it Ganduje that you would say, the guy that is already been seen pocketing dollars? The rest of them, nobody even knows their name. The only other prominent name that they have in the north apart from El Rufai is the Emir of Kano, Lamido, and he has no interest in politics. He is already stated severally that his life's ambition was to be the Emir of his own kingdom, and is now the Emir of that kingdom. So his life ambition is fulfilled. So there's only two really marquee names within the northern space, within the northern hemisphere, within the Nigerian space that could vie for that presidency. And those two names are Lamido, who is already ruled himself out of play, and El Rufai, who is in play fully and is trying to force himself into play. The only other person that would have been able to challenge for that spot would have been whoever the governor of Kano State was or is, because the governor of Kano State holds the second largest voting population within the Nigerian space outside of Lagos. So that power alone, for him to be able to contribute that many votes, would put him at the front of the food chain in terms of the presidency. But of course, this character that we have in play now is just a ridiculous man, and everybody is just laughing. Is a laughable figure, this Ganduje, so he is not in play. So what El Rufai is now trying to do, because you recall that round about March, April time, he went to Lagos and had this public speech and said they had to break the back of godfatherism in Lagos State, and that the era of godfatherism is completely dead within the Nigerian political space. And this, of course, was a direct confrontation and a direct assault at Tinubu, because Tinubu, of course, is the godfather of Lagos State politics, and Lagos State is the one state above all else where godfatherism is the nature of play, is the only really thing that plays out in Lagos State. The Tinubu guy has that state completely on lockdown. He controls the transporters, MC Oluomo, etc. He controls all the local governments. He controls the Yaolojas. In fact, his wife is the leader of the Yaolojas. So which other person are you looking at within the political space? The transporters, the local government chair people, and the market women. If you have all three, then you have the state, and it controls all of them. Every single one of them, it controls them. So that's godfatherism right there, and that is what El Rufai went to confront. But when El Rufai went to confront this, of course, what he's doing is putting the building blocks in place to put himself in play for the presidency in 2023. And what the Northerners are now doing now, and if you continue to look at their public pronouncements after you've watched this video, so this video should then put that seed in your mind to then continue to look at the public pronouncements of the northern leaders in the build-up to 2023, because all of their public pronouncements will be geared towards the fact that, oh, we should go with competence and not preferred candidates or regional voting, etc., and all this north-south thing that it no longer serves a purpose. So they will be attacking the idea that power should transit back to the south. So this is what they will be doing in the build-up to 2023. So by the time we get to then 2022, they would have sufficiently cultured the mind of the political space in Nigeria enough for them to then be brave enough to just jettison the whole idea of power transiting back to the southern part and just go with El Rufai. This is what I think that play is, but then of course I could be reading this completely wrong. Conversations in the comment section. What is your reading of the state of play within the Nigerian space? This is what we're discussing on this particular video. So come share your ideas with me about the northern ambition and the southern pushback. So the Game of Thrones, the chess play, the intrigues, etc., etc., that is going on within the Nigerian space is all what we're looking to discuss on this video. So click on the red subscribe, click on the bell for notification, and then come, let's have this rather important conversation in the comment section. So I'll leave you here, carry on with you in the comment section, but here I say peace.